Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's me, Johnny, again, and welcome back to another video. Guys, something absolutely crazy has happened today, and I will explain to you what that is and how we actually made our under 23 team even better now with the profits that we have taken in this video. So if you guys have seen a title, it will basically tell you I made like 1,000 euros profit within just a couple of days. And I will explain to you guys how that happened, why it happened, and why I took my profits on that deal, because it was too tasty to not do so. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, man. It's so nice to be able to share my passion with you guys here on this Sorare project. As always, guys, if you want to sign up for Sorare, use my affiliate link in the description down below. If you do so, you will actually be giving a free limited item once you buy 5 players off of the new card auctions. So when you do click the link, sign up immediately to Sorare. Once you do that, you can check if it worked out by going onto the invite friends section here and scrolling all the way down and seeing that it says Johnny Sports. If that is the fact, go ahead and select the new card auctions and start bidding on players. Once you get 5, you will be giving a free item. If you sign up without the link, you will not be given a free limited item. My best item was a goalkeeper worth 130 euros. So let's see how it goes for you guys. So let's get to the topic at hand. As you guys might remember, I bought Kingsley Coman just a couple of days ago on the 14th. Yes, basically 2 days before I sold him, I bought him for 2,407 euros. At that time, Kingsley Coman was on these stats: 70, 75, 80. I thought if Kingsley Coman can stay fit, he will be an amazing player for my Champ Europe team. I want to use him as my forward, right? That's what I thought. And it looked like I made the right decision. Kingsley Coman got a 92-point game against Salzburg. He was unbelievable in that game. The best Bayern player by a country mile in a squad of players that just didn't do as well and struggled to get a 1-1 draw against Salzburg and had to rely on a late goal of Kingsley Coman. And it worked out. Coman went in, scored a goal, got himself 92 points, and from that moment on, whoa, things went crazy. So I bought him for 2,400, and as soon as the game ended, what I did was, I thought to myself, okay, so my Kingsley Coman just got 92 points. Let me just check if anyone is buying him in the hype, because if anyone does, I might go ahead and take my profits if it's interesting to me. So I bought him for 2,400, and at that point, I bought Libor right after the game, like literally minutes after, at 22.55, he bought Kingsley Coman, the same version as mine, for 3,320. And I just thought to myself, wow. So there is a 900 euro profit out there that I didn't take. I just went into the market and I checked. People were listing their Kingsley Comans for 3,500 euros. I listed him for 3,400, and immediately I got offers on top of offers on top of offers. Let me show you what has happened exactly. So as soon as I started listing Kingsley Coman, they were coming in by the many. You had a super rare of Inaki Williams being offered to me, along with some ETH. Then I had a Darwin Nunez, who is an amazing attacker for Benfica, a very talented under 23 forward, who gets really high scores when he does well, but gets really low scores, doesn't really have the all-round scores like wingers do. And I just said to myself, nah, I'm not interested. Kept rejecting it. Inaki Williams, super rare plus ETH again. I said no to it. Darwin Nunez plus ETH again. I said no to it. Then I had an offer for 2,879 euros, which would have already been a nice amount of profit. I said no to it because I had no rush. I didn't have to sell him. Haber was in the call with me at that time, and he just came in and offered me 112 euros. I laughed at him and rejected him. Then I got another offer for Philip Versta, a super rare plus ETH. And I was like, oh, let me think about this. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not interested. I looked at his stats and I was like, nah, thank you. The next one, this one was one that was tough. Ruben Dias. He came in with an offer for Ruben Dias plus ETH. And I was like, oh, God, that would be such a great Champ Europe defender to have. And he obviously plays in one of the most dominant teams in world football. I was like, oh, this would be a good one. I still said no to it. I rejected it because I don't need Champ Europe defenders. I need, if anything, Champ Europe attackers. So then he came back again with an offer of 1.1 ETH. Then he came back again with an offer of 3,000 euros. And I was like, man, this is getting dicey. I should be taking some of these offers on. Then I had an offer for Hilgers as well. I actually did go ahead and accept an offer for Hilgers. He might have a long-term injury, guys. Hilgers had to be sold for a loss. Yep, it has happened. I took the loss just like I did on Musiala at the time. And that's just a part of the game, right? It's just part of the game. I got really unlucky. Picked up the boy. He played against Ajax, got 0 points, injured himself, got subbed off, had a scan, and it shows that he has a long-term injury possibly in the knee. And that is always such a dicey situation to look at. So I just gotta get out of it as soon as I could because I have a very small gallery and I need to have my funds. So Hilgers was gone. But this offer right here, at the time, this offer was worth 3,200 euros, I believe. I'm not too sure because we had a massive drop in ETH since that moment. I think it was like, yeah, right around this point. Yeah, right around these times here. We were at 2,700 euros. Ever since then, ETH has dropped 2,630. So that's like, how much is that percentage-wise? So that's like a 6% drop, right? Ever since then. So that value that you see here is not exactly accurate, but I think it was like 3,190 or something like that. And I was hovering, I swear to God, I was hovering over the accept button. And then all of a sudden, as I was about to press accept, it said cancelled. And I was like, no, I missed my chance to make so much profit on it. It would have been like 700, 800 euros, 900 euros profit, whatever. And I was like, nah, man, why did that just happen? But then, let me remove my camera for a second. Up here, on the notifications thing, something popped up. And it said, your Kingsley Coman was removed from your lineup right before this one. It said he got removed from our lineup. So I was like, wait, this means that he sold, right? Someone just bought him outright. So someone did actually come in and bought the Kingsley Coman that I just bought 2 days ago for 2,400. They came in and bought it for 3,400 at a time. And I was like, man, that's it. That's it. That's my best profit ever already. Like the loss that I made on Musiala, the profit that I just made on Kingsley Coman just equalized that completely. So that was a huge trade. I love Kingsley. I really, really do. But I just cannot justify keeping him when I can take that much profit. And after me, some other people got massive rewards as well because of my sale and this dot popping up here. People were able to negotiate higher prices, which is a normal thing. They just tell people, hey, look, these are the prices that they sold for just last time around. And they might have had higher percentages on their players. So they went for 3,500, which congratulations, you made nice profits there as well, I'm assuming. But I just took my profit, man, because I can easily see in a month's time this being down here again. Even though I truly believe in Kingsley Coman as a player, if he can still stay healthy, he's class. But the issue is, he normally doesn't. Like, this kid gets injured so many times and has done throughout his career. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go and sell him now. And once I did take that profit, I immediately took it somewhere else. And guys, are you ready for this? Let me just show it to you with this right here. Look at this. Look at this. You see this guy? You see this guy? You see these two that play in the same team? You see these two that are some of the highest scoring SO5 attacker players when it comes to the last 40 scores on Sorare? Luis Sinisterra. I immediately took my profits from that Kingsley Coman deal and I went after Sinisterra with 9% on him, which is big. 9% bonus is huge. So I went straight after him and I got him. Sinisterra now is part of our under 23 lineup. And that, my friends, now has us having one of the freshest under 23 prospect when it comes to goalkeepers coming to our team. I really hope he can do well. Utrecht need to pick up some clean sheets. Ideally, we'll see how that goes. Against Vitesse, I'm not necessarily expecting it because they're a really good team. So I do think at some point he will come good, but I am open to move him on and get a different goalkeeper that is a bit more consistent with a better defensive lineup ahead of him for more clean sheets in the future. But that's a different story. The Kaiser for now stays. Saliba, one of the best defenders in Champion Europe in general, not just in under-23s. Orkun Kökçü, the best under-23 midfielder that has gotten people so many rewards lately. Sinisterra, who before his injury was one of the most consistent scorers, high scorers for under-23s. And the reason why I went for him is, first of all, because he scores highly, but on top of it, because there's a correlation. Correlation is massive when it comes to Sorare, and that means you have two players that possibly could link up in the build-up to a goal. So easily, Kökçü could be playing a through ball into Sinisterra, who then gets the goal. What happens then? Then you have a decisive for an assist on Kökçü, and you have a decisive on Sinisterra for a goal. And automatically, you're looking at a very, very high score in a team that likes to score a lot of goals, as Feyenoord does. So we have them two, and now we have Vinicius there as well, who is easily an amazing, amazing player. So that is it. Diaby moved out of the under-23 team as an attacker. He moved into the Champion Europe squad. Tomori takes over Saliba's spot there immediately. Pau Lopez, Fikayo Tomori, Dimitri Payet, Moussa Diaby, and Fabian Ruiz for the Champion Europe squad right now. One thing I can tell you guys, though, is that this Champion Europe squad, if you put them into the Sorare data concepts, sadly, hasn't really been competitive enough. I can see that this team would do well in getting thresholds and everything, but surprisingly, despite having two of the best midfielders, we don't necessarily have a team here that would possibly get us rewards all the time. But the recent performances of these players, if we look at like L15s, it gives me hope. So we can. I do truly believe that we can get rewards with this team. But ideally, if I'm going to be making improvements, it would be the Champion Europe team. Unless, and here's the thing, unless I'm going to do what I think I might do. Your boy is thinking about under-23 Pro. Yes. And the reason behind that is, in under-23 Pro, as you guys know, you can use 2 super rare cards. And there are plenty of super rare items on this game for under-23s of players that consistently can score above 50 points. Yes, they'll have the odd 40 in there, but there are a bunch of super rare options that have under-23 utility, not just this year, but also next year, that would be massive for these teams. Because if I then do go ahead and replace someone like a Vinicius Souza, who I got because he's consistent and can hit 60s all the time, if I take him out of the team and I add in a super rare that has 60s as well, at like 50s or 55s or 60s even as average scores in his like last 15, I can go ahead and bring in someone that then gets a plus 25% boost on top of his scores. That is basically another captain in my team. So I would have one super rare in Vinicius Souza, his spot, Sinisterra and Kökçü, Saliba right there, and De Kaiser in the team. And that automatically would lead to me having technically 2 captain-like players on the team that would get us a nice amount of points. And then the under-23 rare pro divisions, when you look at the rewards, the lowest reward you get is a tier 2 rare. Now, the big plus when it comes to under-23 rare pro compared to the regular one is that there aren't that many people that actually like register for this. So you can see under 23 regularly, 1,662 people. Under 23 Pro, 375. That's a plus. But on top of it, the amount of points you needed this past week, I believe, in the under 23s to get a tier 3 rare, or was enough to get a tier 2 rare in the under 23 Pro. I think I had the stats on that one figured out on the last week specifically, but I asked Spreadsheet FIFA if he could make a list so we can actually visualize that difference. So take a look at this list right here. This is a list that Spreadsheet FIFA has put up, and it just showcases something that a lot of you guys might not know about, and something I personally didn't know about as well. You have a list right here that shows you the comparisons between game weeks 241, 242, 243, and 244 for the amount of points you needed to finish in rewards. So the All-Star and the Under 23, as you guys know, those showcase you the divisions where you can only use rare items, right? That's where you use the rare items only. And in that one, last week, to get a tier 2 rare, you had to finish in All-Star on 365 points, right? 365 points for a tier 2 rare in All-Star. When you go into All-Star Pro, where you can use super rares who get that massive boost, you can use 2 super rares that get 25% bonuses on top of them. And if you have a really good rare that you then captain, like the Kirkju, you technically have 3 captains in the team. So that's a big boost to your point total. In the All-Star Pro, to get a tier 2, you only needed 360 points. So that showcases you that there's a good chance to go ahead and play the All-Star Pro with players that get higher percentages in return for the SFI scores. And it's technically easier if you have good players in your team, right? That can reach those points. So then you would have really, really good rares that score high points, like the Kirkjus of this world. And you'll get some of the budget super rares to add in those points, like 50s, but then get that 25% bonus on top of it, that make them automatically go up towards the 60-point totals. And then reaching that 360-point total is not looking that hard anymore. But the difference between a tier 2 in the All-Star division, as you guys can see, and a tier 1 in the All-Star Pro division is just 8 points. So it's just 8 points more to get a tier 1. While if you stay in All-Star, the rare division, if you want to jump from tier 2 to tier 1, you need so many more points. You need 34 more points. It's a massive difference. It's a huge difference. But if you look at the top point totals that you need here, for the All-Star, to get a star rare, you need to get 428 points. In the All-Star Pro, you only needed 412. So that is something to keep in mind, because with those percentage boosts that you get on super rares, and if you manage to pull in a player into your club that has more than just 25%, well, that's even better, because they can go up to like 30s, I believe, and maybe even more. I'm actually not too sure. But yeah, like the percentage bonuses are just nuts when it comes to super rares. So there's a good chance to go into the All-Star Pro division to get better rewards, where you might risk of missing some thresholds at times, but if you hit, your team hits big time. But obviously, for me personally, the Under 23 is what I'm looking at and thinking, this is something I want to possibly get into. Like, if you look at the Under 23s this week, this 244 week, tier 2 was at 409 points. A tier 2 in the Under 23 Pro was 412. So not a massive difference right there. When it comes to a tier 1, though, you needed only 440 points compared to the 462 that you needed in the regular Under 23s. When we go down that list even more now, I mean, I'm going to try and like turn on my, like it should show my cursor, but it sadly doesn't. I don't know why. Oh, there you go. You guys can see it now. I'm so sorry that you guys couldn't see it there. But yeah, the thing that I was talking about just now was like a tier 1, you needed 440 points in Under 23 Rare Pro. In the other one, you needed 22 points more to get a tier 1 rare. Now, when we go down the list, like the past game week again, a tier 2, you only needed 18 points last time around here, and you needed 298 in the All-Star division. So you can clearly see that there is a big difference in that week. So this doesn't consistently work in every single game week, but I believe that was a midweek one, so that's always a dodgy one anyways. But this is another like weekend one. Here you needed 374 points. This one you needed 384. And you got to keep in mind, it's technically easier to get a higher point total in the pro divisions because you have those percentage boosts. That's something you have to keep in mind. So if the point totals that you need for certain tiers are close to each other, I mean, technically with the percentage boost, you can easily see yourself getting to these like ratings here. It's very, very interesting for me to look at this. Like a tier 1 in the rare pros was easier to get than it was on the rares, but a tier 2 was harder to get in the rare pro than it was on the regular rare. So there's like inconsistencies at times, but it clearly shows that it can be worth playing under 23 pros because there's less managers in there, less competitions. Yes, sure, the top places are going to be very hard to reach because you will need really good super rares in order to be able to do so, like 528 points there, while you only needed, I mean, only 503 points, which is still an insane amount. That last game week was just a bit nuts, but it's a very nice spreadsheet that Mr. Spreadsheet FIFA himself has created for Nep and I. And it's very, very interesting to see something like this visualized. So I'm thinking right now, do I maybe bring in super rare under 23s slowly into the club while I still grind out the rare division with my 5 rares right now as it is? Do I maybe slowly, rather than buying rares from this point on, buy myself some super rares? Because if I look at someone like this guy, for example, Christian Thorstvedt, who has a 62 average score in his last 5 games, I go into it and I see he has 2 assists and 4 goals this season in 23 games as a midfielder. And you look at his super rare, it cost you... Oh, did someone just buy it? No freaking way. Don't tell me Nep just bought it. Oh, there we go. It's still on the market. Why is it not showing up back over there? Oh, he took it off the market now. I see you. Or did someone else just got it? Ah, I knew it. I missed my opportunity, man. I knew it. That's so unfortunate. Nonetheless, he was going for a decent amount, and I thought, man, this would be a good pickup. Then I also looked at someone that is playing for a very, very good team, Mateus Nunes. If you look at him here, he is currently going for 2,400 euros. I mean, you could easily offer less than that, and this guy would probably be negotiating. It might be possible to pick up someone like him. But this guy's a quality talent that plays to nice heights at certain points. And I think yesterday Guardiola actually mentioned him and said he's a talent that he really likes. So, yeah, there's a bright future ahead for this guy. So if I would get someone like him, if he hits a 66 and you get that 25.5% bonus on top of it, he ruins Vinicius Souza his scores, right? Yeah, like even if he gets to a 50 and he gets 25.5% bonus on top of it, it's just massive. So getting to higher point totals with at least 1 super rare, but potentially with 2 super rares in the future, is something that I'm really thinking about. And I want to know your guys' opinions on this. I don't want to like be flip-flopping in between teams right now. This game week, nothing's going to be changing. Like, these are going to be my teams. I have De Kaiser, Saliba, Kökçü, Sinisterra, Vinicius Souza. That's it. I'm not going to change that team unless something drastic happens. And the Champion Europe team is not necessarily going to be changing either. Ideally, though, I would like to have someone, somewhat of a better team in a Champion Europe squad where I know that they can compete for points. But yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about today. The super rare situation, the Kingsley Coman profit taking. And I want to talk about what we talked about in yesterday's video. Since then, Sorare Data has updated the concept lineup builder again. To find it, you guys have to only go ahead and do this. Let me remove my camera. You just have to press on Scout, Concepts, and you already get to this page. So that is really nice. And it shows you not only the lineup floor price and the lineup recent price average right now, but it shows you rewards over the past 51 game weeks, which would have been only 8% for me. But game weeks where all players played, so far it's only 6%. And the issue with this is the data when it comes to my under 23 team is very skewed right now because Kaiser is obviously just recently popped into the team. But the beautiful thing that they have added in now is you can see these yellow dots, right? These represent tier 3, tier 2, tier 1, tier 0 rewards, which is like podium-like the stars. So That is amazing. Like this week, where I had all my players playing, I would have been very close to a tier 2 rare, which is lovely to see. Sinisterra just underperformed because I think he got subbed on in that game after his injury and came back, I believe. Then you have this team right here, where I would have finished in a tier 3 rare rank once again. And I think if you apply the power... Oh, I forgot about this. So basically, you can choose whoever is your captain, right? And then you can apply the power as well, which adds up the percentages. So what kind of percentage you have, add that in to your team for your players to actually find out where you would have finished. So I apply the power and I see where I would have finished here. Here, I would have missed out on rewards ever so slightly. But because of my team never really having played in the same game week, like ever, apart from a couple of times, what is it, like 3 times? Or I don't even know. Like it never really happened because the Kaiser has only played 4 games so far. We don't have proper data to base this off of. But once he does, we will kind of see the success of this team and see if it is actually as competitive as I think it can be. But I honestly believe that if you look at these average scores of these boys, we have some really, really good chances moving forward, even with this squad in just general under 23 rares. And I'm really looking forward to see what this team can achieve. So definitely go ahead and use this metric, use this new feature to find out like how your team's price developed over the past months. You can also find out their points here, specifically like how high you would have possibly gotten when every single player plays. You can also tell that certain players didn't play during this game week, certain players did play during these game weeks. So it's a bit odd, right? It's a bit odd. It's this one specifically, I personally haven't really figured out exactly. I'm having a little bit of a hard time with it, but this is a very nice way to visualize where I would have finished. And the more we get these percentages for these players up, the more success we will see. So now that I have set up a team of players that I'm very confident with, it's at least these 3 I'm extremely confident with. This guy is new to me, but I have taken a risk with him. And if he can perform as he has done in the past, we are looking at some really, really good rewards coming up in the future, guys. This has me so excited. I think this feature is class. You guys should try it out and see how things go for you. Like, let's do it together here as well. Let's do one together. Let's go Champion Europe. And let's do the lineup for me here. Let's go Paul Lopez, right? Let's add in... Where's Paul Lopez? Oh, did I not pick goalkeeper? Goalkeeper. Paul Lopez. Why is this not finding Paul Lopez now? If I type in Paul. Am I being dumb? What am I missing here? Hold on. Let's do this again. Global All-Star. No. Champion Europe. Rare. And then Paul. Is he there? There he is. Why didn't he show up a second ago? That's one thing that I really struggle with. A lot of times I type in players' names and they just don't pop up. Let's put in Tomori here. Tomori goes in. That's added to the squad. You click on that midfielder icon. Then we go Payet. Dimitri Payet. And then we go Diaby here. Diaby added into that list. And then for the extra, who do we have as an extra? We have a midfielder. So we type in Fabian. Please pop up. Thank God. The amount of times he didn't pop up for me was ridiculous. So I would have picked Dimitri Payet as my captain, for example. Let's apply the 5% bonuses, basically. And let's see where we would have technically finished in the last 6 months. So you can tell here, 14% of the game weeks where my players did play, we would have finished in rewards. That week we would have been on a tier 2. That week we would have been very close to a tier 3. If we apply the percentages like actually properly, I'm assuming we would be a little bit higher up than this one. I don't know why, but I feel like this new version doesn't actually show the points properly. I'm not 100% sure though. Like, I'm not definite on this. I feel like something isn't right with this, but I might be wrong. So if we go like based on the past year, it just shows a bunch of matches where they played. Let's go show game weeks without games, certain players not having played in the past year. And you can see even though certain players didn't play in certain game weeks, that we did get close to rewards or actually got into rewards as well. Like here, Tomori didn't play. If he plays, that's a little bit higher than there. Like, it's a very nice metric to use. And again, it's a beta, so there's going to be more and more fixing and sorting out things coming up, where I think we'll see an even better site in the future. But generally, this is going to be a feature that I always use from now on. It's not going to be something that I miss out on to use in the future. So just a heads up for you guys. But that is the update on the club. I've rambled on for enough now. As always, guys, make sure to use the affiliate link. And yeah, please do your own research. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.